It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to this special edition of Science Bowl. Today, a semifinal match between two outstanding middle schools. Today's winner goes on to play Stephen Decatur for this year's middle school championship. Let's meet the teams right now. First from Hyattsville Middle School, would you please say hello to Shakira Gregory, Owen Roy, and Sean Me Pagala. And from Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School, here they are, Zachary Landau, Liam Greaves, and Zach Reed. And now, here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing, and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, our game board reflects question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points, the tougher ones worth 15, 20, ultimately 25, the toughest question of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds today, we will have the second of our finalists in this year's middle school competition. Let's go over and make sure everything's working properly. Let's go to the red team. Owen, would you try your buzzer for me? Thank you. Good luck to you, to Shakira and to Sean. And Liam, would you try the green team's light and buzzer? Also seems to be in good shape. That's a group push over there. Zach and Liam and Zachary. Are we ready to play? All right, you all have that look of steely determination over there. Congratulations, guys, on making it this far. You know, we started with 16 middle schools. We're down to our final 4. And whatever happens, you guys are winners today. Let's have a good game. We go alphabetically H before M. So Hyattsville and Owen, let's play the bowl.
Let's get physical for 15, please.
Get physical for 15 to start our game. Teams, this weight hanging from a fixed point and... Yes, Martin Luther King.
Pendulum?
A pendulum, yes. Evidence of rotation of the earth. A very famous one, Foucault's pendulum. You didn't need any of that information. Go green.
Body systems for 15, please.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, you can have your entire genome decoded if you send in a sample of your DNA. Hyattsville? Yes, sir.
And they determine which chemicals are most common?
Not quite. Martin Luther King... The Human Genome Project means now you can have your genome decoded. Just send in a sample of DNA, which you can harvest by scraping some cells from inside your buccal cavity, otherwise known as your what?
Mouth.
Your mouth or your cheek. Absolutely right. Good. Green.
Zoo Parade for 15, please.
Zoo Parade for 15 points. Teams, recently this headline appeared in a newspaper. Zoologically, it was all wrong. You tell me what was wrong with it. I haven't read the sentence yet.
Oh.
Okay, let me read the sentence from Martin Luther King. The newspaper said, because of the very warm temperatures, ticks and mosquitoes are going to be appearing in very large numbers along with other insects. What was wrong with that?
It was winter, so they were supposed to be hibernating.
That's a good try. Ticks are not insects. Ticks are arachnids. They're more closely related to spiders. Common mistake, and a number of people wrote into the paper and pointed that out. Try again, green.
Green things for 15, please.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, Charles Darwin was very fond of a plant called the bladderwort. It lives underwater. It sets traps for tiny crustaceans swimming by, which makes it what kind of plant? Martin Luther King.
A carnivorous?
Yeah, it's a carnivorous plant in the same family as pitcher plants and Venus flytraps and sundews. All right, you're off to a fast start. Where again, King?
Science potpourri for 15, please.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, one Saturday every month, you can go to Laurel to Dinosaur Park, and you can become an amateur one of these. Martin Luther King.
Paleontologist.
Yeah, you can dig fossils out. You can be an amateur paleontologist. And one young lady actually found a fossil of some significance. All right, go, Liam.
Dateline science for 15, please.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, the Philips Lighting Company recently won the prize for coming up with the most economical new version of a light bulb. Martin Luther King.
Fluorescent? It was fluorescent.
Fluorescent, did you say? Not fluorescent. Good try. Hyattsville, the Philips Lighting Company won a prize recently for coming up with the most efficient light bulb to replace what light bulbs that we are phasing out?
The incandescent light bulbs?
Yeah, the incandescent ones. You know, the 100-watt ones are disappearing. Next to the 60s, slowly but surely, Thomas Edison's legacy is being wiped away. All right, Red, let's go.
Let's get physical for 10, please.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Equinoxes occur in the spring and the fall, astronomically speaking. That's when those seasons begin. The other two seasons, Martin Luther King. Solstices, the summer and the winter, June and December. Absolutely good. You filled in the blanks there. Go Green.
Zoo Parade for 10, please.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, it is written that Edgar Allan Poe originally wanted a parrot to, quote, nevermore, instead of this bird. Hyattsville?
The raven.
The raven. Nevermore. Good. The Baltimore people are very happy about that. The Baltimore Parrots doesn't sound like much of a football team, does it? Go again, Red.
Okay, science potpourri for 10, please.
Again?
Science potpourri for 10,
Potpourri
please.
for 10 points. Teams, in the Disney movie John Carter, the epic battle took place between Zapanga and another city-state named for this second lightest of the gases. Hyattsville.
Helium?
Helium is absolutely right. Good. Lousy movie, but a good science ball question. Go Red.
Dateline science for 10, please.
Dateline for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. The steady state theory says that the universe is today as it has always been. The opposing theory says at one time 10 to 18 billion years ago, there was a huge explosion. Martin Luther King.
The Big Bang.
The Big Bang theory is the opposing theory. That's right. Good TV show. Go Green.
Green things for 10, please.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. The only continent that has no terrestrial plants is this continent, Martin Luther King.
Antarctica.
Antarctica, which is why tourists there are inadvertently bringing in seeds that are taking root and causing weeds to develop. 140 to 85, green advantage still. Go Liam.
Body systems for 10, please.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, because in the past few years they have added umami to the list, there are now how many? Martin Luther King.
I'll pass this one over to Zach.
6 taste buds, or taste buds. 6
Say it again, please, so I can hear you.
6 taste buds.
No, not quite. Hyattsville, because of the recent addition of umami to the list, there are now how many basic tastes?
5.
5, absolutely right. Sweet, sour, bitter, salty, and umami, which is kind of a soy miso mixture. The buzzer's gone off. The end of our first round. Let's check that score. Martin Luther King at 140, right behind Hyattsville at 95. We'll be back with the second part of Science Bowl in just a moment. Don't you go away.
Diet and exercise are never easy. Then again, neither is dying. Sadly, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke kill nearly 1 million people a year. Most of these deaths could be prevented. Please, talk to your doctor about your risk for diabetes and heart disease. And if your doctor recommends lifestyle changes or medication, listen. The reason so many die is because not enough are willing to change. You can stop it, starting right now. It's your life. Listen to your doctor. Eat better. Get moving.
I always thought being a good mother meant raising my baby myself. But when I got pregnant, I realized I wasn't ready to be a parent. So I did something I thought I could never do. I chose adoption. It was really hard, but I know my baby is with a loving family and has a very bright future.
Sometimes choosing adoption is being a good mother. Visit us at ichooseadoption.org.
And welcome back to Science Bowl. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Here we are in our 26th season, and the students keep getting better and better and better. Before we get back into our game, let's tell you what we're giving away today to all of our contestants for doing so well during this season. They are getting Audubon field guides in their choice of subjects: birds, mammals, reptiles and amphibians, insects and spiders. Something we hope they will keep their entire lives, that will remind them of their time here in Prince George's County Schools and their time on Science Bowl. We're proud of all of them. Let's go over and find out a little bit more about each of our contestants. If you didn't see them earlier in the season, let's go first to Hyattsville. Hyattsville, what a school you've got over there. 6 county championships, maybe a 7th this year, 3 out of the last 4 years. Owen, what are you doing right over there?
One thing I like about it is that we have a CPA program that's amazing. It's our magnet program, and it stands for Creative and Performing Arts. And there's all kinds of things, like there's something for everybody, like there's orchestra, choir, band, dance, creative writing, drama, and visual arts and media. So
that's just wonderful. And you said something very important. There's something for everyone. Every student is different, and if there's something there that can bring out your talents, that's just the best possible school. Who's the principal over there?
Miss Washington.
And I know she's out there rooting for you. And the sponsor of your team is Mr. Knights, Mr. Howard Knights, and he is new to the sponsorship, and he has embraced this wholeheartedly and has done a fantastic job. And thank you, Mr. Knights, for all you've done. Any alternates on your team, Owen?
We have Jennifer Hiles, Tajay Slack, Jonathan Wimple, and Hallie Maddox.
So you've got more than a shadow team out there. So we'll bring them out with Mr. Knights in just a few moments. Before I leave you, Owen, tell me about your future plans. What do you want to do someday?
Well, as an adult, I'd like to be an engineer. You know, I'd like to go to University of Maryland, but if something happens for MIT, I'd gladly go there too.
I can see why you might want to do that. Nothing against the University of Maryland. Nice to have you back. You're a good captain. Sean, nice to have you here, just like Owen. You've been here many, many times. We've seen you grow up here on Science Bowl. You too aspired to be an engineer, but you also threw something else in when we talked earlier.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe an engineer or a doctor. I'm still undecided.
Well, whatever you choose, I know you're going to be successful at it. You're a very disciplined young man and a great Science Bowl player. What do you like about this game?
Well, let's see. It kind of really tests basically how you react in nervous situations, and it helped me learn a lot about science.
Well, that's exactly what we hoped it would do, and we're very proud of you, Sean. It's not going to be the same without you next year. Shakira, nice to have you here. Young lady who distinguishes herself all the time. Tell us the Shakira story. What do you do in your spare time?
I sing and play guitar.
You play guitar. You're very musically inclined, and you also like something, don't you? She likes sharp objects, and we were trying to figure out a little bit more about that, but maybe we'll just leave that alone for right now. How do you know so much about science, Shakira?
Well, I have Sean and Owen who help me, and Mr. Knights, and yeah, that's it.
That's it. 3 heads, 4 heads are better than 1, and you guys play well together as a team. Nice to have you all back. Martin Luther King, nice to have you guys here. Also, multiple appearances on our show. We have seen you grow up as well. Liam, tell us about Martin Luther King, a successful school in so many realms. This year's Spelling Bee champ from Martin Luther King, the 3rd one we have had in our 12-year history. You've won Science Bowl twice. What are you doing right?
Well, the teachers there, they don't just tell us that we're great, they expect us to be great, and they treat us so. So when things like the Spelling Bee and Science Bowl come up, we're prepared.
High expectations. Absolutely the best way to teach and to have a school run. And you are so well-spoken, Liam. So articulate. I love having you here, and you're a great captain. Tell me a little bit about your team. Any alternates on it?
We have 3 alternates on our team: Antares Greaves, Aaron McLeod, and Kyle Tuliao.
Wonderful. We'll bring them out. And the sponsor of your team?
Miss Elizabeth Butler.
And she has been with us, I think, most of our 26 years, and she is a fantastic sponsor. And we'll see you in a few moments, Elizabeth. Thank you for all the work you have done. What do you want to do someday, Liam?
I'd like to be a biomedical engineer.
And we will see you. You're going to be a distinguished biomedical engineer. I just know that. Zach, you've told me now you're a man of few words. You want to go to a good school and career?
Not really decided yet.
Still, jury is still out. Something tells me you're going to be in college someday and you're still going to try to be deciding. And you know what? Some of us still don't know what we want to be when we grow up. You know, that's all right. There are lots of careers inside of all of us. You play a really good game, and I've loved having you here all these years. Zach, nice to have you with us today. An aspiring chef, yeah?
Yeah, it's kind of struck me only like a few months ago how much I really like cooking. Yeah. So I want to be a chef now.
And if we came over to your house, not that we're going to do that, but if we did, what would you whip up for us?
Well, I guess I would start off with some type of steak or something, because that is something I like to cook. Okay. And I would also probably come up with some type of pie.
Oh, now you're getting my interest here. Okay. Coconut cream is my favorite, by the way, Zach. Okay. Now, you're playing a good game, and thanks for being here today. Let's get back into it. 140 for Martin Luther King, 95 for Hyattsville. Lots of points to give away. Last correct answer came from the red team. So, Owen, start us out.
Green things for 20, please.
Green things for 20 points. Teams, some weeds are developing resistance to herbicides like glyphosate by isolating the herbicide inside these Martin Luther King.
Vacuoles?
Vacuoles, yes, those V-initialed organelles within the cells, thereby rendering the herbicide ineffective. Nicely done, young men. Go.
Zuparade for 20, please.
Zuparade for 20 points. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. Teams, you know that maggots are the larvae of flies, and we know that caterpillars are the larvae of butterflies and moths. But this grub, Martin Luther King,
is the baby of a beetle?
Of a beetle, absolutely right. A potential beetle. Nicely done. You waited that whole question out. Good. You're up to 180. Martin Luther King.
Body systems for 20, please.
Body systems for 20 points. Multiple choice question. Teams, if you're trying to eat and talk at the same time, which I do not advise, you won't choke if this flap, Martin Luther King.
The epiglottis.
The epiglottis, absolutely. That flap of cartilage, not the uvula or the pyloric sphincter, which would have been my other choices. Well done. Go.
Let's get physical for 20, please.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, monosodium glutamate, as the name implies, has one atom of sodium, just as carbon tetrachloride tells you what? Martin Luther King.
I'll give this one to Zach.
Zach?
It has 5 atoms of carbon.
No. Hyattsville, just as monosodium glutamate tells you that that formula, that compound has one atom of sodium, carbon tetrachloride tells you what about the molecular structure? Yes, sir.
30 molecules of chloride.
4 molecules of chloride. Tetra is a prefix meaning 4. All right, you came close over there, Zach. You'll get them next time. Go green.
Science potpourri for 20, please.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, the Mercalli index indicates the intensity of these geological events. The Richter scale determines Hyattsville. Yes, sir.
The size? The size of earthquake.
Oh, earthquakes. Is that judges? Yes, the earthquake was the key word there. Yes, the magnitude is the Richter scale, the intensity, the Mercalli index. Okay, you're up to 115. Owen.
Dateline science for 20, please.
Again?
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, back in 1678, scientist Robert Hooke came up with his laws of gravity, which immediately put him into contention with what other... Hyattsville?
Isaac Newton.
Isaac Newton, who disproved what he said and claimed credit for coming up with the laws of gravity. All right, we have all the easiest questions left, all the hardest questions left. 135 Hyattsville, 200 Martin Luther King, advantage red.
Green things for 25, please.
Green things for 25. The big one in that category, teams, pollination, whether it takes place via bats or birds or the wind, goes from A to Z. Not really A to Z, goes A to S. Martin Luther King.
To the stamen.
Give me more.
Nope.
Not quite. Hyattsville, the A to Z of pollination, actually it goes from A to S. What 2 parts do A and S stand for in the pollination sequence?
Anther and stamen.
Ooh, good try. Anther and stigma. Stigma was the female part that we wanted there. Try again, red.
Zuparade for 25, please.
Zuparade for 25 points. Teams, you all know this should not wake a sleeping dog. You should never wake also a hibernating bear because your life could be in danger. My question, if you wake a hibernating bat, why is its life in danger?
Because it could fall.
Hyattsville.
It could fall from the ceiling of the cave and hit the...
Not quite, not quite. Martin Luther King, why is waking a hibernating bat potentially a fatal event for the bat?
It can cut off its circulation. It can cut off its circulation?
No, a hibernating bat, remember it's the dead of winter, has very little stored fat. It's going to burn up that stored fat and there's nothing to replenish it. There are no bugs out at that point. Okay, nice try, no points. Go again, red.
Body systems for 25, please.
Body systems for 25 points. Look at the monitor, please, in the studio teams. We're talking vitamin deficiencies here. Lack of vitamin B1 gives you something called beriberi. Lack of vitamin C gives you scurvy. Lack of vitamin D gives you this bone-bowing disease. Can you name it for 25 points? Martin Luther King.
Osteoporosis.
Good try. Not osteoporosis. A lack of vitamin D can cause this bone-bowing disease. Can you name it for me, Hyattsville?
Arthritis.
Good try. Rickets. Rickets is the correct answer. Try again, red.
Let's get physical for 25, please.
Let's get physical for 25 points. Teams, recently on the Saturnian moon Enceladus, they found cryovolcanoes that literally spew... Hyattsville?
Ice.
Ice. Ice comes out of the volcano. An amazing phenomenon. Good answer, Owen. Go.
Science potpourri for 25, please.
Potpourri for 25 points. Teams, this year's winner of the Intel Science Talent Search, the biggest science fair in the country, was a young man from Michigan who discovered that a certain protein keeps cancer cells from being detected by what body system? Hyattsville.
The immune system?
The immune system, absolutely right. That is why cancer is such a tough nut to crack. All right, 185 to 200, very close. Owen, go.
Dateline science for 25.
Dateline for 25 points. Teams, some people refuse to eat food that is marked GMO. Can you tell me what GMO food is? Hyattsville.
It contains gluten and it's multigrain.
No, sir.
Yeah.
No, sir. Good try. GMO food. A lot of people will not eat it. Tell me what it is. Genetically modified organisms within. Sometimes it's called GEO, genetically engineered food. All right, we have 5-point questions left. Still anybody's game because of the closeness. Advantage, Owen.
Green things for 5, please.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, Washington's cherry trees around the tidal basin are called ornamental because they don't. Martin Luther King?
They don't lose their flowers?
Nope. Hyattsville, those cherry trees around the tidal basin are known as ornamental cherries because they produce no what?
Cherries.
Cherries. There's no fruit. Absolutely right. They're just pretty to look at. All right, go.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, because they all swim equally spaced, headed in the same direction, fish probably are... Martin Luther King?
They swim in a school?
They swim in a school, that's right. They learned some math when they were in school. Good. Green.
Body systems for 5, please.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, European royalty said that this body part was always blue. Hyattsville.
The blood?
The blood. Only if it was never oxygenated. Absolutely right. 3 5-point questions left. Go.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, what word that means a piece of glass with a metallic back? Hyattsville.
A mirror?
A mirror, yes. Mirror, Mirror, the new movie with Julia Roberts. Yes, 200 to 205. Congratulations on making it to this point. Owen, choose.
Science potpourri for 5.
Science potpourri for 5 points. Teams, it was back in 1920 that Karel Čapek, in his play R.U.R., introduced the world to these artificial people. Hyattsville.
Robots?
Robots, yes, that we have now come to call R2-D2, Wally, and Eva. 205 all, we come down to the last question of the game. Last question. Ammonium hydroxide added to beef trimmings in hamburger.
Pink slime.
Martin Luther King.
Produces a pink slime.
That is it, pink slime, and that means Martin Luther King by 5 points is our winner. Congratulations. We will be back with a wrap-up in just one moment. Don't you go away.
Across America, Service Learning is helping students improve their grades and their communities. Service Learning makes school exciting by connecting the classroom with community service projects.
Before Service Learning, I was just an ordinary student causing mischief during class. After Service Learning started, I got so involved into it, I started paying attention more, picked up my grades.
Okay, very good.
Service Learning absolutely drives academic success.
Working together, students solve real problems, build new skills, and apply their knowledge in a whole new way.
The great thing about Service Learning is it gives you this opportunity to go out into the world and do things hands-on.
Inside the classroom and out, Service Learning opens new doors and brings learning to life. Service Learning can make a difference in your school. Visit Learn and Serve America at learnandserve.gov to find out how.
I knew I needed help paying for college. I've always wanted to be a teacher. I used to make worksheets for my friends to do. No one ever wanted to come over. My guidance counselor told me about federal student aid, and my mom helped me fill out the free application. I got the grants and loans that made school possible. There is a way to pay for school. You just have to find it. My name is Caitlin. I'm going to be a special education teacher. I'm going to live my dream.
Welcome back. What a game. I'm sure you were on the edge of your seat just as we were here. They are all winners. When it gets this close, we don't want to see any long faces over there. Our final tally today is Hyattsville 205, Martin Luther King 210. The pink slime did it for you. Zach and Liam, and Zach, congratulations to you. Miss Butler, you're grinning from ear to ear, deservedly so. All the alternates back there, Aaron and Ann Teresa and Kyle, we will see you against Stephen Decatur. Hyattsville, what can I say? We love you guys. You played the best game you could. Shakira and Owen and Sean, you're all champs. Congratulations, too, to all of the alternates back there. And Mr. Knights, you did a fantastic job again this year. All the alternates, Tajay and Jennifer. And let's see, who else do we have up there? Hajay and who am I missing? Jonathan. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all of you. And we're very privileged to have board member Amber Waller and our superintendent, Dr. Height, with us today. Dr. Height, I know you're proud of these guys.
Extremely proud, Dave. This was quite a competition, and I wish best of luck to Martin Luther King as they go up against Stephen Decatur, but I also want to recognize Hyattsville because they did an exceptional job.
Absolutely right. I think everyone deserves a round of applause over there. Good job. And Miss Waller, I know you're especially proud today.
I most certainly am. It's my pleasure to be here today with all of our winners. All of our students are winners, and I know that they've all worked hard, and the scores are awesome. It was an excellent challenge, and we'd like to thank all of our principals, our administrators, and all the students and families that supported our students for today's event.
Absolutely. The best of the best here in Prince George's Schools. We're going to see you next time for the finals, Martin Luther King versus Stephen Decatur. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.